Now, Swakopmund is buzzing with activity, and with the Christmas weekend approaching, even more people are expected to flock into Swakopmund as well as its surroundings. How ready is the town of Swakopmund for this expected influx? Here to help us answer this question as well as others, Swakopmund Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Archie Benjamin. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Very good morning. Thank you for the opportunity.
So now it's close to 3 years since your appointment on the 1st of January 2019. How have the past 3 years been for you?
Well, the past 3 years have been exciting, fulfilling. I mean, the sheer opportunity to create the smartest, best managed city will keep you awake, all day. We have been lucky that over the past 3 years, we were able to, together with our council and stakeholders, to put up a 20-year plan for council where we define land use, every piece of land in Swakopmund, as well as integrated development where we bring services closer to the people. But we've also gone further in identifying a number of economic pillars in terms of long-term sustainability of Swakopmund, that we do not just rely on tourism, but that we create pillars that will supplement tourism, being, of course, the main and key economic sector. We have explored possibilities for a tertiary hub, decisions in that regard. We've explored possibilities for light industrial area, investment in light, with specific emphasis on manufacturing. We have explored the possibility of urban agriculture. We've started off with a signature project. We have other projects lined up. We have also explored the possibility of a smart city, incorporating it into our structure plan, believing that we could possibly offer smarter services to our residents over coming the years. We've moved fast also in taking key developmental decisions, which I will explain later. And then recently we were able, together with our councillors, to put up a strategic plan for the next 5 years, where we have also identified key challenges and actions that we'll take to meet those challenges going forward.
What do those smarter services for residents and visitors alike look like in future?
Well, what we've done is that, first of all, we've worked with stakeholders in the telecom industry, such as MTC, Telecom, MTN, to first start off to roll out the optic fiber network throughout the city. We have covered large part of it. We still need to cover the eastern part of town. We have also moved ahead with putting up connectivity towers all over town. Some of them will be put up next year. The aim is to improve connectivity over the city, but also to put up Wi-Fi hotspots going forward. As far as council is concerned, we have started off making services easier to access for our residents. For example, in the past, for you to get your municipal account, you needed to come to the municipal building. Now you don't need to do that. You can access this on our website. You get SMS at the end of the month. You can access your account details on just by punching in your number on our website, and many other services. So we are expanding on that. We are exploring all the technologies that are available to see how we can make it easier for our residents to be served.
Thank you, sir. You also mentioned urban agriculture.
Yes.
What does that look like within the context of a town like Swakopmund?
What we've done within our structure plan is to identify areas where we can do urban agriculture, because we believe that over the next 30 years, 75% of the world population will live in cities, and cities need to feed themselves. So council included it as a principle, as a pillar, and we started off already. In fact, we had our first harvest for a project where we have 30 beneficiaries We still need another 400 that we need to meet. But we have, for example, 11 plots, river plots of 10 hectares each. Which
And what did you harvest, sir?
cucumbers and yeah, all this. So it's possible, it can be done. We don't need to import 60% of our produce from South Africa going forward.
Now, for the bigger portion of your 3-year tenure, COVID-19 has unfortunately reigned supreme.
Yes.
What has it been like to manage a city of this caliber with all its dreams and ideals in the middle of a global pandemic?
Well, I must say that all of us were not prepared for the pandemic. We were just responding to the challenges as they came along, initially with the first wave. But luckily, through the guidance of government and the regional leadership, through the governor's office and disaster risk management committees, we were able to guide local authorities such as Swakopmund how to respond to the pandemic. Of course, we had, this being a tourism-based economy, you could not have people flying in or traveling to Swakopmund. So we had a significant loss of jobs, loss of property, and loss of life. Loss of life. We also lost some of our staff members as well. But what we've also done is that there were a lot of initiatives. COVID taught us to be resilient and to be creative. There were a lot of initiatives that were undertaken. For example, Council over the past 2 years adopted a non-tariff increase approach, delayed payment approach for services. We joined other stakeholders in food distribution for our most marginalized communities. We assisted the Ministry of Health, for example, with medical consumables, provided transport, that we got ambulances through the Japanese embassy, where we are providing transport to our people, and many other initiatives that Council has been trying, just to cushion the impact of COVID-19 on the population.
Now, notwithstanding the prevailing uncertainty, some of the measures that are in place to curb the further spread of COVID-19 have been relaxed.
Yes.
How do you see that impact the tourism sector in Swakopmund over this festive season?
Well, I think over time, we must have learned some lessons. We had the first wave, second wave, third wave. We are in the fourth wave now. We have learned some coping mechanisms, I think on an individual basis, how to protect ourselves, wear your masks, sanitize, social distance, although it's difficult. But I know that individually, from what I see around here, people are practicing that. So we see it's good to go. Although we re-emphasize, the new variant is spreading very fast. We are encouraging people not to group together and having all these come-togethers that we like over the festive season. And just be careful.
Thank you.
And be safe.
Now, apart from the devastation brought about by COVID-19, there are other pressing challenges that you face in this town. Which are those, sir?
We have the challenge of land provision, service land provision. Just to give you a broad overview, we have a list of over 22,000 people who are in need of housing. We have people, around about 42,000 people living in DRC alone. So the demand is there for, but we did not sleep over this time period. We were busy. We were able to provide land to our lowest income people. For example, in the DRC, where we had decongested around about 1,712 people to a new area. And those people are living each one on their earth. And Council has then adopted the flexible land tenure system to give ownership to these people. And as we decongest the rest of the people from DRC, we are also giving ownership to those people who are staying on those urban. We have even gone as far as constructing houses for those individuals. but I will explain that later.
Just one moment before we proceed. A list of more than 22,000 people in need of land.
Yes.
Where do those people stay at the present moment?
They're in Swakopmund. They're in Swakopmund, and we need to find a place for them to stay. And there are, of course, different projects that council is running, around about 13 of them, across the board in terms of the housing segments, from your mile 4s to DRC to wherever. If you had the chance and you travel around Swakopmund, not just the western side, but the eastern side, you will see activities happening there. We're providing housing through the Sheikh Dwellers Federation. Houses are completed, the Build Together project, 40-40 project, around about 1,200 houses have already been completed, they are standing. Some of them will be handed over early January. But the issue, the key here is people need land for residential purposes. We have even gone as far as allocating the business areas that are available in the DRC to the individuals. Of course, that will be confirmed next year. But we believe that ownership encourages reinvestment. And people can construct their houses, they can conduct their business, they can access financing, and they can grow the local economy.
It's clear that you and the council have made significant strides as far as land delivery is concerned. But are you happy with the pace at which this is happening?
Absolutely not. I mean, we produce at the lowest end of the market around about 450 houses per year. That is not sufficient for the number of people that we are trying to see whether there are ways in which we can fast track the provision of houses. We have some stakeholders on board which we are engaging. Some of them have been allocated housing project. But what council has also done is that we've introduced what we call a land bank policy, where land that was previously allocated to developers who have not performed have been returned to council. And then those pieces of land will be advertised under specific conditions and for a specific target market. And through that way, we are trying to see how we can meet the demand. At least we'll then have control over the pricing of the land and also the pricing of the houses, which is a big problem at the moment.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned earlier that many people also lost jobs as a result of COVID-19 and the regulations that remain in force to curb its further spread. How big a problem is unemployment in Swakopmund?
Unemployment is a big problem, especially among the youth. We do not have specific percentages from the surveys that we've done. But what we have done is council has, in order to keep the economy going, also reinvested into the economy, because we believe if we reinvest, we also generate interest. We spend around about 117 million of our procurement funds into the economy through housing construction, cleaning services, and all these other services. And that's how we regenerate the economy, and that's how people get employed. And then you also interest other people to come. We are reinvesting in many, many ways.
So as we're starting to wrap up our conversation this morning, we understand that you're officially on leave, and we're very grateful that you made the time to be with us while on holiday officially. Help us understand what 2022 has in store for the town of Swakopmund from your perspective.
Well, 2022 is equally exciting. Yes, the challenges of COVID are there. The challenges of land and housing are there. But we are in a position right now as a council where we've taken definite decisions which will be implemented coming in the new year. I talked about the issue of land ownership. I talked about the issue of tertiary institutions. Council approved 2 tertiary institutions. The land transactions were finalized last year because we believe this is your perfect university town. Construction must start. We have, council has also approved major projects such as the We Agri agriculture project. We've also approved a hydrogen energy project here. So the opportunities are there. Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm excited.
Any final remarks, please?
Any final remarks is to the residents of Swakopmund. We must join council. We must believe in this dream. We believe that it's possible. To our visitors, enjoy our hospitality. And we need every cent that is invested in Swakopmund. Please stay safe. And we'll see you in 2022. Thank you very much.
That was Mr. Archie Benjamin, Chief Executive Officer of the Swakopmund Town Council, who, despite being on annual leave, spoke to us about key accomplishments, but also challenges. We'll be right back after a brief break.